Previously in Part 1. At night, Yan goes to the Western restaurant to meet Elixir, who after seeing him quickly says that she ordered all his favorite food and asks him if he would like to have a drink. She then apologizes to him for the recent events, and before he could reply to her, the system notify him that the system detected the sleeping pills in the red wine, but the host has received the inheritance of the Lord God, so there is a certain degree of poison resistance, and this amount of medicine will not pose any threat to him. Yan picks up the glass of wine and after taking a sip says to Elixir that it doesn't matter and they should let the past go. Elixir adds that she never thought they would end up like this, and she had imagined about how their life would be after marriage. Ian says that after marriage it should be her family asking him for money until it crushed him and forces him to die. She is angry by his statement and is waiting for him to pass out. As he asks if he said something wrong, she replies that she only have a brother, to which Ian asks her if her family have a throne for him to inherit. Elixir says that he is her only brother, so he shout will be spoiled, while thinking to herself that Ma said that this dose will be enough for 3 people, but it is not working on Yan. Suddenly Yan falls down, to which Elixir calls out to check on him. Then Elixir's disdainful expression speaks volumes as she asserts that Yan must surrender everything taken from Ma Dons by tomorrow and give it back. The scene transitions to a hotel room where Yan is sleeping soundly in bed. Upon waking up, he is startled by his surroundings. Ajin, who is lying next to him, directs her anger towards him, calling him a bastard. Yan tries to defend himself, explaining that he had dinner with Fang Yuxu and couldn't understand how everything had suddenly turned upside down. Ajin that he was the one who texted him, asking him to come over the previous night, he thought. Interrupting him, Ajin cuts him off, stating that he had simply used her, and she never expected him to be worse than a beast. She laments her mistaken belief that he was a good person and expresses her disappointment. Yan calls out to Ajin, seeking support and understanding in the situation. In his thoughts, Yan makes a decision. He declares that if Ajin wants to fight with him, he will play along. The scene shifts to a coffee bar where Elixir and Ma are sitting together. Ajin arrives and addresses Elixir, informing her that everything has been done as per her request, and the incriminating photos are stored on her phone. Elixir acknowledges the completion of the task and instructs Ajin to leave, assuring her that she will contact her when needed. Ajin agrees and departs. However, Elixir expresses her concern to Ajin, speaking from behind. She mentions the need to save the photos, emphasizing the potential consequences if the results are affected. She mentions that her father will be waiting for death in the hospital. Ajin reassures her, promising to take good care of the photos. Ma acknowledges Elixir's bravery, remarking that she possesses considerable courage. He expresses his admiration for her actions, appreciating her more. Elixir justifies herself, stating that Yan Mu was the one who first displayed ingratitude, and all she did was reclaim what rightfully belonged to her. Ma agrees with her reasoning, responding that for someone like Miss Fang, 30 million is already worth it, and he, Ma Dong, has no complaints. Elixir declares her intent to take action, asserting that today Yan Mu will pay for what he did. In her thoughts, she adds that she will make sure Yan Mu experiences the consequences of being used. The scene transitions to the hotel lobby where Yan stands next to them, utterly confused. He addresses Ma, questioning the meaning behind their words and actions. Ma, addressing Yan, informs him that he, Yan Mu, doesn't understand the gravity of his deeds. He calls him a kid and states that they are there to seek justice. Yan defends himself, asserting that he is a law-abiding citizen and hasn't done anything wrong. Elixir confronts him, directly accusing him of being a bastard. She reminds him that he had dinner with her the previous night and then turned around and took another woman to a hotel. Ma reveals the seriousness of the situation, informing Yan that he has heard the girl was coerced, and the police have been notified. Ma offers Yan a chance to beg for mercy, suggesting that he might still be able to save his life. He adds that even reporters are present, emphasizing that if the matter is exposed, Yan's life will be ruined forever. Yan challenges their perception, stating that they must think he is foolish. Elixir notices the reporters and wonders why they are filming her and Ma Dong. Ma warns Yan, stating that he doesn't know what's good for him. Yan interrupts him, requesting a moment to take a call. Over the phone, Ajin informs Yan that the revelations about Ma Dong and Elixir's threats against her have been posted on the internet. Ma, shocked by the news, drops his cigar and exclaims in disbelief. The reporters seize the opportunity and start bombarding him with questions. One reporter mentions that Ma Dong's company is facing financial deficits and substantial debts. Ma, infuriated, vehemently denies the accusations, dismissing them as false and claiming that it's all a setup and conspiracy. The reporters swarm around him, demanding answers and seeking further information. Meanwhile, the system notifies Yan that the stock of Longtang real estate has plummeted upon opening, and the company under Ma Dong's name is on the brink of bankruptcy, facing massive debts and imminent auctioning. Yan recalls his conversation with Ajin, remembering that Ma Dong had offered her 500,000 to frame him, threatening to harm her father otherwise. He realizes that the bar encounter was a setup orchestrated by Ma and Elixir. Confidently, Yan proclaims that he now possesses enough evidence to ensure Ma Dong spends the rest of his life behind bars. He questions whether Elixir and Ma Dong will stand with him or against him. He acknowledges the importance of having the system, recognizing that without it, they might have gotten away with their deceitful actions. As Elixir's anger intensifies, she mutters to herself that Yan Mu is tougher than she expected. 2 days later, the owner of Longtang Real Estate, Ma Dong, becomes a suspect in cases of embezzlement and money laundering. The company files for bankruptcy and enters the emergency auction procedure. Reporters approach Elixir, inquiring about her alleged involvement with Ma Dong in their attempts to coerce others. Ming expresses her astonishment, mentioning that she initially thought Fang Yuxu had been deceived but now realizes the truth. Yan, lying on his bed, questions why he hasn't received the survival points he expected after bringing down Longtang Real Estate. He complains about the system always withholding his due rewards, feeling frustrated and believing there is no justice. Suddenly, the system announces a 100% successful upgrade, and a radiant light shines upon Yan. In a surprising turn of events, a rabbit appears before him. Bewildered, Yan wonders where the rabbit came from, contemplating if it is the upgraded form of the system. As Yan carries the rabbit, he notices that the item he desired has suddenly vanished. Unexpectedly, a beautiful hand materializes, accompanied by a seductive woman who introduces herself as Tam, Yan Mu's upgraded system. She suggests that Yan might find the rabbit a desirable form, teasingly mentioning his initial interest in it. The woman urges Yan to express his satisfaction and leave a 5-star review. Meanwhile, Ming calls out to Yan, questioning him about the news she saw. She refers to him as brother Yan Mu and expresses disbelief over Fang Yuxu's true nature. Ming attempts to enter the room, but Yan stops her, urging her not to come in. Startled by the lady sitting on top of Yan, Ming apologizes and passes out. Yan, frustrated, reprimands the lady, instructing her to get off him. However, the rabbit lady scolds Yan for his rudeness, noting his initial fondness when she first appeared. Yan covers Ming with a blanket, relieved that she only fainted due to the shock. The rabbit lady remarks that Ming will soon be ready and points her finger at her. As Ming regains consciousness, she questions the identity of the lady. The lady introduces herself as Tam, Yan Mu's system, and suggests that Ming can call her Xiao Yu. She asks Ming to take care of her, but Ming gets dizzy and calls out to Yan and thinks that she is still dreaming. Meanwhile, in the Fang household, Elixir's mother expresses her gratitude to her daughter for her recent efforts in collecting the bride price for Xiao Yu's wedding. However, her brother questions the sustainability of their newfound wealth and hints at the need for Elixir to find a wealthy partner. Frustrated by the constant pressure and expectations placed upon her, Elixir begins to question the path laid out for her. She yearns for autonomy and the chance to forge her own destiny rather than being confined to societal expectations. Just as her frustration reaches its peak, a mysterious black aura materializes before Elixir, offering her a tempting deal.